So this is homework 8.3. Write each polynomial in factored form, check by multiplication. So for number 1, we have 2x cubed plus 10x squared plus 12x. I'm going to factor 2x. So I'm left with x squared plus 5x plus 6. And now I'm going to factor x squared plus 5x plus 6 using the factor sum method. I have to get the factors of 6. So I have 2x, we have x plus 2, and x plus 3, and this is in factored form. For number 2, I have x to the 4th minus x cubed minus 6x squared. So I'm going to factor what they have in common, which is x squared. So you're left with x squared minus x minus 6. And I'm going to find the factors of 6 again, which are going to give me negative 1. So I have x squared parentheses x minus 3 x plus 2. So those two are going to give me negative 3 times 2 is going to give me negative 6. And when you add negative 3 and 2, you get negative 1. And then for the first one, number 6, the factors are 2 and 3. When you add 2 and 3, you get 5. Number 4, we have x to the 3rd power minus 2x squared plus x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor an x. So you're left with x squared minus 2x plus 1. So I'm going to use the factors of negative 1 and negative 1. So I have x minus 1, x minus 1, and that's going to give me x squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay. For number 3, I'm going to factor a negative 3, x. So you're left with x squared minus 6x minus positive 9. How do I know it's positive 9? Because negative 3x times 9 gives you negative 27x. Negative 3x times negative 6x gives you positive 18x squared. And negative 3x times x squared gives you x cubed. So you have negative 3x parentheses x minus 3 and x minus 3, because negative 3 times negative 3 gives you positive 9, and negative 3 plus negative 3 gives you negative 6. When you add. For number 5, it says find the zeros of each function, then graph the function. So to find the zeros, we just have to say x plus 1 equals 0. So x equals negative 1. X minus 1 equals 0. So x equals 1. X minus 3 equals 0. So you have x equals 3. So your zeros are negative 1, 0, 1, comma 0, and 3, comma 0. Now I do want you to make a table. I'm going to have to probably make a horizontal table. I have x and I have y. So let me go ahead and type in my function y equals the polynomial, I mean x plus 1. And then we have x minus 1. And then we have x minus 3. Okay, so this is the graph that you have to place on your on the paper. I know this one doesn't have the graph, but I think the one I gave you does have a graph. I'm going to go ahead and come up with some values. So when x is negative 2, y is negative 15. When x is negative 1, y is 0. When x is 0, y is 3. When x is 1, y is 0. And when x is 2, it's negative 3. And so on your graph, you're going to go ahead and graph that and show me that. I'm showing you Desmos, but on your own paper, you should have a graph. You should be able to do that on your paper. So we have x plus 1. I want to make sure I have it correct. So let me go ahead and start off by giving you the zeros. So we have x equals 0. That's the first 0. So it's 0, 0. We have x minus 2 is equal to 0. So x equals 2. So the next 0 is 2 comma 0. And the last one is x plus 5 equals 0. So x equals negative 5. So it's negative 5 comma 0. We're going to make a horizontal table. And I'm going to go ahead and type in the function y equals parentheses, or x, parentheses x minus 2. And then we have x plus 5. Now we're going to go ahead and make a table. So we have at negative 2 is 24. At negative 1 is 15. 0, 0. 1, negative 6. 2, 0. Try 3 now. 3 is 24. And number 7, we're going to write a polynomial in standard form with the given zeros. So I have x equals negative 1, x equals 3, x equals 4. So we have x plus 1 times x minus 3 times x minus 4. So you're going to go ahead and multiply x times x, which is x squared. X times negative 3 gives you negative 3x. 1 times x gives you positive 1x. And then 1 times negative 3 gives you negative 3. Then you're going to multiply times x minus 4. So x times x squared is x cubed. X times negative 3x is negative 3x squared. X times 1x gives you x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 4 times x squared gives you negative 4x squared. Negative 4 times negative 3, positive 12x. Negative 4 times 1 is going to be negative 4 times x squared gives you negative 4x squared. Negative 4 times negative 3, negative positive 12. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4x. And then negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. So you don't have any x cubes. Negative 3x squared and a negative 4x squared, that's going to give you negative 7x squared. Oh, you still have an x squared here, so let me just write it down. Negative 3x plus 12x gives you 9x, and 9x minus 4x gives you 5x plus 12. So our answer is going to be x cubed minus 7. In this case, it'd be minus 6x squared plus 5x plus 12. Number 8, we have x minus 3. X equals negative 3. X equals 0. X equals 0. X equals 5. So this will be x plus 3. Of course, this is x, and this is x, so you're multiplying. And then the last one is x minus 5. It's unusual to see it like this, kind of awkward. X times x is x squared, parentheses, x plus 3 times x minus 5. So I'm going to multiply x squared times x squared times 3. So it's x cubed plus 3x squared. and then we're going to multiply times x minus 5. So we have x cubed times x gives you x to the 4th. X cubed times negative 5 gives you negative 5x cubed. 3x squared times x gives you positive 3x cubed. 3x squared times negative 5 gives you negative 15x squared. So you have x to the 4th minus 2x cubed minus 15x squared. So let's kind of review what we did. So we have x equals 3 equals negative 3, so it's x plus 3. X equals 0, x equals 0, and then we have x equal 5, which is x minus 5. X times x gives you x squared. X squared times x gives you x cubed. X squared times 3 gives you 3x squared times x minus 5. X cubed times x gives you x to the 4th. X cubed times negative 5 gives you negative 5x cubed. 3x squared times x gives you 3x squared. And then 3x squared times negative 5 gives you negative 15x squared. So you're left with x to the 4th minus 2x cubed minus 15x squared. Number 9, 10, 11, find the zeros of each function, state the multiplicity. So for number 9, we have x minus 5 equals 0, x minus 5 equals 0, and you also have x minus 5 equals 0. And you notice that it repeats 3 times. And it's the same answer, which is x equals 5. So this will be a multiplicity of 3. So the 0 is going to be 5, comma 0, and it repeats 3 times. Number 10, we have x equals 0. Then we have x minus 8 equals 0. And we have x minus 8 equals 0. So x equals 8. That's a multiplicity of 2. And x equals 0 is a multiplicity of 1. Okay. Number 11, we have x minus 2 is equal to 0, so x equals 2. I'm not going to write x plus 7 3 times because that is a multiplicity of 3. Subtract 7, so x equals negative 7, and that's a multiplicity of 3. In other words, it's repeated 3 times, and this is a multiplicity of 1. That's a multiplicity of 1.